actual battles. Because I always keep moaning about not having anyone to play it apart from the usual TPX bunch of lads, which I have no problem playing, but variety is nice. I figured I'd take a leaf out of Robotnik's book and try passerby battles, and so 4 battles here are my delvings into passerby battles, and it's okay. There are good points and bad points, which I'll get into later. Anyway, fucked if I'm going to be able to keep up with this. Since it's 4 battles, they're all in ×2 speed, so that we don't waste the rest of our lives and slowly just disintegrate into skeletons while we're watching this fucking thing. So yeah, I'll have a go. Anyway, he's already had a shiny Latios there, which is pretty cool. And I think that's the main thing I like about passerby battles. You get a lot of variation. However, it's unstructured variation, so it can be a bit of a pisser. Anyway, he has a special Sableye, or one with Shadow Ball, which seems a bit janky to me, because, I don't know, knock off, my friend. But anyway, I gave all my old teams a go, and, I don't know, actually went quite well. I hesitate to call them old teams, because they're not really, but anyway, I haven't used this team in fucking ages, so I figured I may as well. But he's doing a lot of switching to Sableye, and I don't quite know why. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to, like, you know, he's trying to fuck over my Gastrodon. Little does he know that Rotom walls him completely. Like, Rotom doesn't have to care. In fact, if you want a good check to something, Rotom, or want a good check to Sableye, Rotom Heat is pretty fucking good. You can't do much better. I don't know. In fact, any fight like Mega Houndoom as well, that's pretty good check, because you can just fuck its face in. Anyway, you also saw he didn't have Prankster. That confused me. So yeah, I was a bit perplexed on that one. Maybe he's got Keen Eye. Maybe he just got shit, you know, a shit roll. Because the whole thing also gets Stall, doesn't it? And I was thinking about Stall, and I'm thinking, hey, you know what? Stall might actually be quite good if you wanted to use a Metal Burst Sableye. But that's about it. But on the other hand, you could still use Prankster and just give it no speed, and yeah. Stall is just terrible. You know, people are like, oh, Slow Start's really bad, or True One's really bad. Stall's gotta be up there as one of the shittier abilities you can physically use. Anyway, one of the main things I was thinking about with his battle, and one of the main things that you'll notice there, is, like, he's got a Lucario and he's got a Manectric. Now, Smogon rules dictate that Mega Lucario is banned, but again, as I said, this is unstructured chaos. Anyone can bring whatever the fuck they like, really, and that'll show up later on. But, the other thing that I don't really like about passerby battles is it's really, 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 really difficult to determine their skill. I'm not exactly going to lord it over people and say that I am the God's gift to this child's game, but I don't know. I like to say that I'm alright, I suppose. And that's kind of one of the things. The only way that I saw that I could determine how good or bad people would be are the amount of wins they have, and the amount of trades, and the amount of hours they've played. That's usually a reasonably good indication of how invested into this bloody thing they are. But even then, the first 2 battles went by quite seamlessly, and they were quite good, and they were interesting against different opposition and stuff, and I was quite cool with that. And then I had to wait an hour and a half for the next battle, because, I don't know, I found tons of people who had like 600 wins recorded and stuff like that, and like 999 hours played, and like, I think some guy had 25,000 trades, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. But every single time I wanted to battle someone, they were like, no. Because I know that, you know, I know my main experience with passerby battles is like some little nublets like, oh, we'll battle this random dude. And, you know, I kick their asses in because they usually show up with un-EV dudes. But on the other hand, to everyone else with like 600 win records, I must look like a little noblet because I've only probably got like 20 wins on my card trainer ID thing. So, I don't know. I think that is one of the main problems I have with it. It is just unstructured. And apart from Battle Spot, there's no real ruling or way of sorting stuff out. And I don't really want to do Battle Spot because I like 6 on 6. That's how I've been doing it. I'd rather not change that. Anyway, yeah, I actually didn't narrate this battle at all. You will notice that, you will have seen his Manectric die. As it turns out, he does have a Mega Lucario, which really begs the question of why he didn't Mega Evolve it, and why he didn't try and close combat my Ferrothorn. That's what I'm talking about with skill level. I mean, I was letting my Ferrothorn go, so I was quite surprised he didn't just blow it out of the water, but he didn't, so there you go. But, I don't know. it's not bad, and I think I'd give it I think I'd continue trying to do it. It's just, again, it's a bit of a sort of random element of whether you're going to get a good guy or a complete scrub. So I don't know, and they don't know either. So I don't know. They're probably not as inclined to just accept a random battle. But I don't know. If you got any tips on how to find battles, Robotnik, I would appreciate that. Like, how do you determine whether you think someone's good enough? Because I sort of went like, if they've got over 100 wins and maybe like over 200 trades, I'd say they're probably pretty good for it. So I don't know. Anyway, next battle, and I'll actually try and narrate this one. So here we go. Anyway, he's lead out with a Greninja, I lead out with my Scarf Smeagol, and Scarf Smeagol beats Greninja any day of the week, because Scarf Smeagol's fucking cool, especially with Topsy Turvy. Anyway, I'm going to Scarf her out, and I'm going to ape a very ballsy play, which I've made once before, and it kicked me in the gonads, but this time he doesn't wake up, and I just close combat, and he dies. Good deal. Dead Greninja, and I can sleep something else, so I'm pretty dandy with that. Now, he's going to go into Pharaoh. Could have gone hilariously wrong for him, but I didn't particularly want to nom Iron Barb / Rocky Helmet, so I was okay with that. But now I'm going to go back into Smeagol, and this time I'm going to go for a trick, as he goes into a Rotom Wash, and I get his Citrus Berry. I figured, since he had a Citrus Berry, he's probably going to be bulky, so I figured I could take a Hydro Pump. I do, I get my health back, and then I Spore him, and I'm like, okay, this is good. Smeagol, you are putting in Shift of the Year. But now I'm going to go into Heracross again, another ballsy switch. I mean, yeah, Smeagol took Hydro Pump well, but I don't know. I mean, with a subset and no recovery, that could have gone badly wrong. But fortunately, he stays asleep as well, so I can get my sub up, and then I Focus Punch. He does wake up here, goes to the Hydro Pump, misses. I go Focus Punch, get a crit. Don't know if the crit mattered, but the Hydro Pump miss definitely did. Although, on the other hand, next he's going to go into a Gengar. He's going to break my sub, and I missed a Rock Blast, so I don't know. I imagine I would have killed with the Focus Punch, but here it pretty much just gives him another an opportunity to kill me. So I don't know. It might have mattered, it might not have done. But anyway, he goes Sludge Bomb. I don't quite know why. Predicting the Clefable, I would have thought the Bisharp would have been the more obvious switch, but there you go. I don't know. But I figured I'd stay in, you know, just in case. I'd rather not chance it. And fuck knows, Gengars have pissed me off with Bisharp before. So I figured I'd stay in, I'd tank a hit, Rock Blast, kill it. I go into Infernape on the double down. He goes into Whimsicott. I don't want to deal with Whimsicott. So this is why Clefable is good. It just is. I fucking played a Clefable with that Misty Terrain team that I used in my last Showdown video. And Gardevoir did 30% to it with a Psyshock, and Chomp did 30% to it with a Poison Jab. And I was just like, no, this thing's too good. It's dumb. It's ridiculous. But it's there, and it's a thing. So anyway, he is not going to touch Clefable at all, because all he can do is like Leech Seed and crap, and Moonblast ain't get anywhere. So he's going to go into Tyranitar. Tyranitar, I believe, did I get a crit on the Moonblast? I don't quite know, but anyway, I figured I'd hang around and go for another one, see what he wants to do. And I don't really care about Tyranitar, because I've got Scarfed Mach Punch, or Scarfed Close Combat, or whatever the hell I really feel like using to kill it. In this instance, I feel like going for a U-turn, because I'm going to outspeed it. It's an Infernape. And it's Scarfed. And it's jolly. I tell you, don't knock it till you tried it. Sounds retarded, works very well. Anyway, I'm going to go into Slowbro, because why not, really? And I figured he'd go into Pharaoh, and Slowbro is something that's reasonably expendable. So he's going to go for Power Whip. I knew Slowbro would take it, and then I was like, okay, I don't want to miss a Fire Blast, I'll go Ice Beam, and he lives it. And I'm like, oh, fantastic, thanks Slowbro, you prick. So, I lose Slowbro, but it doesn't matter too much. I can just go in Clefable, Moonblast that, and then, you know, I've got 2 priority guys as backup. I figured I was pretty good. And he's going to go into Whimsicott, and I am pretty good. So, I could just win it with Clefable, but I'd be here for years, and I can't be bothered. So, after I get the special attack drop, I figured, fuck it, I'll go into Bisharp, I should take 2, and then I'll just Iron Head and kill him. He does get the special attack drop here, and I am again reminded of my stupidity with why I randomly decided to pick Inner Focus over Defiant. But there you go, it's a dumb thing I did, and that's that. So yeah, now this was after an hour and a half of waiting for my next battle, and I get that. I don't know if you caught it, but that was a full Ubers team. And as I'm sure you can imagine, I get fisted hard, and that's kind of the problem for me. you know, it's a crapshoot on whether you're going to get a battle to begin with, but then you've also got a wager on whether someone's just going to bring 6 Ubers and demolish you. So I know. I tried bringing this team. There, I probably should have tried to stay in with Fori and just get Stealth Rocks up and deal with that, because Fori wasn't going to do shit. And he has a Ho-Oh and stuff, so I should have done that, and I didn't, and then I lose my Florges, which would have been really helpful against his Darkrai, but I sacked it because I'm an idiot. So, I go into Tyranitar, I take the Water Spout fairly well, which is why I was kind of disappointed I didn't take the Surf afterwards. I suppose Surf and Water Spout aren't too far apart, but I kind of figured I would, you know, tank that, but I don't know. Maybe I should have switched out to Espeon after I got the Stone Edge off, but yeah, I don't know. I was actually pretty dumb here. The switch out was painfully obvious, but my experience of Darkrai is nasty plot sets, but the Dark Void was going to come first. I probably should have tried to stay in, because it would have been a bit, I don't know, cool to pull that off, but I didn't. So I go to Sableye, he gets the Dark Void, and I need to wake up here to have any vague hope in hell of doing things, because I can recover, taunt, toxic, the whole 9 yards. However, I don't. So that's kind of it. Sableye would have put me in reasonably good stead, but yeah. I don't know. I fucked up, I guess. That's what I did. So my next best bet is to go into Mega Aggron and kind of pray to Jesus I do things, and I go Sleep Talk, and I get Iron Head, and it does nothing. That's like a third. That's really bad. I always thought that Darkrai was like, you know, Glass Cannon kind of dude. Really? What happened to that? But obviously not. I do fortunately get the Roar, however, unfortunately, I roar him out into Arceus. And I kind of figured that that was fire. Apparently not. It's fighting. I do not know my Arceus forms, because why would I ever want to? I figured here that I had to go Dazzling Gleam, because if I locked myself in a Psychic, I was fucked. So I thought it was fire, but I had to do it anyway, and it doesn't work out. And then I see that he's I don't know. And then when I Dazzling Gleamed and saw he was fighting, what I should have done is when I went into Fori, switched straight back into Espeon, and then tried to Psychic, because that was my best fucking bet. I just had nothing here. Even if I killed this thing, and then killed the Darkrai, he still has Ho-Oh and Groudon, and something else really horrible that I don't remember. Anyway, last battle, this one was actually a pretty good one. I was kind of determined to get a battle with this team, because I was always kind of meh about it, but I figured I may as well carry on and have another crack at it. So yeah, anyway, obvious switch is obvious, but he falls for it, so I get going to Espeon Taunt, and I know he's going to Scarper, so I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to Baton Pass out, because I haven't done that, like, ever. That was the whole point of having Baton Pass there, as a sort of U-turn-ish thing. Anyway, kind of weird here. I sort of thought it was a good time to go into Fori and start setting up stuff, and he starts setting up DDs. I'm not too worried, it's just if it starts getting out of hand. So after this layer of spikes, I figured, alright, he's at +3 speed, he should be pretty bloody quick, let's start smashing him with Gyro Balls. And he actually takes that better than I expected, and then he's got lefties, so I think, alright. And I go for another Gyro Ball, and it turns out he went for Dragon Tail. Now, I think, buddy, what you were really after there was Coil, and you kind of missed. But I don't know. But whatever. So he Dragon Tails me in a Tyranitar. I don't really want to sit there, so I go back into Fori, and I take his EQ like it's nothing. I take that really well. So I was just perplexed. I mean, he's +3. So I don't know. Also, can you even get Shiny Zygarde? I could have sworn there was a doofer in the game that stopped you from getting the Shiny Legends because Game Freak are dicks. I never understood why they'd put that in. That just sounds retarded, but I think they did. Anyway, I go into Aggron, as if Fori can take it, Aggron will. Aggron can take anything apart from special hits. Special hits are not his forte. Physical hits, he doesn't give a shit. Unless it's Banded, Sheer Force, Flare Blitz, Darmanitan. Then, no. I think that's like his one major problem area. That's just too many boots on too powerful of a guy. Anyway, I do manage to sort of scare him out a bit. And I'm a bit pissed off because I can't rest. On the other hand, Aggron just doesn't really care. So he's going to go into Scolipede. He's going to get the the speed boost after protecting, and then my taunt wears off, and I'm like, alright, fuck it, I'll roar you around. So this is the first bloody time this entry hazards team ever did work with entry hazards, because usually 4 just fucking dies. But still, he tried a baton pass into Zygarde. I'm fairly certain if I could take a +3, I'd take a +1 anyway, but now I don't have to, because I roared him out. So his Zygarde's dead, and his Scolipede is also dead, which is fan-dabby-dozy. But he's going to go into Sableye. Again, fairly obvious. I go into Espeon again. However, this time he makes a good play and shows that he has the Sucker Punch, which I did not think about. I think when I was making mine, it was a decision between Sucker Punch and Knockoff, and I thought, well, Knockoff's got a bit more utility, and fuck it, Sableye needs utility to get anywhere. I think I was beaten by a Sucker Punch Sableye at one point, though. Anyway, I go into Florges because I'm just going to start smashing things, and Sableye ain't going to do shit about that, is he? So he goes into Zygarde, sacks it to get a free switch into Scolipede, but that dies as well. So yeah, my entry hazard team actually did work with entry hazards. What a radical fucking concept. In comes Tyrantrum. I couldn't really go into Aggron. Although, as it turns out, I could have done, because he went Poison Fang, but it was sort of like, even if he went, like, Head Smash, Aggron couldn't take 2, and I'd be kind of fucked either way. So I was like, alright, I'm gonna sit here, you can kill me, and then maybe I'll go into Sableye, and that'll be grand. But, yeah, Poison Fang does quite a lot, however, Stone Edge would have done more. I think even with the huge jaw thing, I don't know. I might be wrong. But still, Zam comes in to clean up Florges. I'm going to go into Tyranitar. He's going to go Dazzling Gleam. Does fuck all. Tyranitar, Assault Vest Tyranitar is too good. And he lacks as well, it's amazing. Anyway, he goes Focus Blast. Tyranitar tanks that as well, which is just ludicrous, really. It's just starting to take the piss. I mean, it probably should have knocked it down to what I presumed was its Sash with Pursuit, but I don't know, whatever, I'll take it. And now, I'm going to keep Tyranitar for later, because I know he's got Sableye last, and depending on if he Wisps me, I might be able to get a cheeky Fire Blast him. So I go into Aggron, because I don't have to give a shit. I mean, I go for the rest, a bit of a dirt move, but I don't really care. I just go for an Iron Head, and in fact it works out for me, because his Sableye comes in and Wisps me anyway. So, I was actually quite cool with that, and I just kill him. So he gets an extra hit off of me, which means I die to burn sooner, which means that I can get more damage in, and he has less turns to utility and stuff. So, he's going to go for a Wisp there, I go for an Iron Head, does a surprising amount! And then, he's actually going to go for a Taunt here to try and stop me from resting, and I get a crit with my Iron Head. Don't think it mattered, because it basically comes down to whose Sableye is faster, and as it turns out, mine is. So I taunt him, even though he went for a Recover, so if he actually was faster, it would have been fucking irrelevant, because I would have killed him or set up a Toxic or whatever. And then that was that. So yeah, that's my delvings into passerby battles. I hope you've enjoyed, and yeah, hopefully we can get more 6th gen stuff out soon, or at least after the 4th gen tourney's over. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.